Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. We're 9 wins in a row. It's an exciting day. It's also like because I've been Samsung. Because I've been moving. I've told you a few times. M9HX I've told you a few times. Oh, don't go in there. It's an XL floor. Otherwise, we would have gone in there. I've gone from like recording typically 1 to 2 Isaacs a day to instead 1 to 2 times a week. I just record a staggering amount of it, like, you know, try to do like 5 a day to stay ahead of the curve. So it feels like it's been a while since the last time we talked. Even though for you, you're like, hey, oh, you walked into the freaking fire. For you, you're like, hey, it's really been a while because the backlog means that this video won't come out until like December 1st, perhaps. And then secondarily, you're like, no, it hasn't been a while at all. It's only been a day. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's been more than a day. It's been like, I don't know. Let me think about it for a second. It's probably been since Friday, would be my guess. And today's Wednesday, so that's 5 days right there. That's crazy. What was the highlight of your past 5? Dude, I mean, so I know you're like, how much stuff could possibly, you know, you've been assembling furniture and moving for like 2 weeks now. Actually 3 weeks, but anyway. Wait, how much more could you possibly have to do? The answer to this question is very little. We've been moving, you know, several big, heavy boxes a day. I'm not embarrassed. I'm actually like, I'm proud of this. But, you know, well, you know, over the course of 2019, I've gotten into better shape. Much better shape. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm in amazing shape relative to, you know, I don't know, Jake Gyllenhaal. But compared to me a year ago, oh, absolutely. So I feel like I'm very happy that I've been able to help lift these boxes. But I'm also like, dude, I got bruises all over my body. That's from Crash Test Dummies Magnum Opus. Like, I've been trying to, so we got a good division of labor here. I know it's a dangerous sentence to say. I didn't really mean it with those kind of connotations. Okay, that's good. We're going to take the rosary, but first we're going to go to the curse room, because we've already ruined our deal with the devil chance, so we might as well at least try to get something out of this. I think we might get that tinted rock as well. That's back there. Okay, not a good use of my time. But basically, Kate is a good organizer. She doesn't have that much lifting power. I have enough lifting power, but I'm just an absolutely horrible organizer. So she packs and unpacks, and I, you know, load the boxes into the old Fiesta. And then, you know, drive it over, take them into the house, and then go back, you know? So you get the idea. But some of these boxes, dude, I gotta tell you, it's actually like, it's the closest I've come to feeling like I'm training for like a strongman event. I know you're gonna be like, how heavy are they? Maybe on stream today, if people remind me, I'll try to get a good shot. I have like a, I'm trying to think of a good word because most of my audience is American. I was gonna say a loony-sized bruise on my left bicep from where I've been like bracing the boxes against, and it's just like I got like 5 different colors of bruise on my body right now. Let's just put it that way. You know, on my forearms I have like these yellowish purple bruises just from, you know, the weight of the boxes pressing into both forearms. And then, you know, my left bicep has got a little bit more of like almost a bluish bruise. That's where the corners of the boxes end up getting braced against my flesh. And then on my right arm, I got like, my right bicep, I got like 2 big scratches from the cardboard, you know, just shearing against it a little bit. I got my thumb caught in an elevator door last night while carrying a box. It broke the tip of my thumbnail off and led to some bleeding under the nail as well. I got a tiny like bright blue bruise on my thigh. I'm assuming that's from, you know, when you pick up these boxes from the ground, sometimes you almost gotta like, you know, you gotta clean them, you know what I mean? You got to take the weight from the floor, you know, load it onto your thighs, and then from there lift it up to your chest. Is what I'm trying to say. So I got some battle scars right now. I feel very like Panglosian right now, you know? Like I'm just getting absolutely owned by heavy objects every single day. And then, you know, Kate's like, oh, does it hurt? And I'm like, well, it hurts, but at the same time, there's virtue in hard work, and any challenge that's not challenging doesn't make you grow as a human being, and this is the best of all possible worlds. And my philosophy of irrational Leibnizian optimism has led me to have troubles internalizing how to feel about this specific event right here, and as a result, I prefer if you didn't ask. That's basically what the highlight of my past 5. Well, the real highlight is, oh baby. So I'd say we finally reached the point where the new place feels more like our domicile. We really, in where I'm recording right now, you know, my old office, it's really just like my office is untouched, but I have no possessions in here, so this will take like less than half an hour to disconnect and move over. And then it's like, we don't even have like, we just have a little food in the refrigerator, and then like a couple of plates and, you know, necessary bathroom stuff and etc. But we've gotten over the hump without a doubt. Thanks for the shot speed upgrade. I really appreciate it. And what was the biggest quality of life thing that we got? Don't walk into that. Well, I'm glad you asked. We got internet, okay? Now, not only did we get internet, the internet is ridiculous. It's fiber, so already, you know, you're like, it's obviously going to be pretty good. When I did a speed test on Wi-Fi, I was like, this is great, but it's not what we paid for, you know? It's not what was advertised. So on Wi-Fi, we're getting like 10 gigabits, or sorry, let me rephrase. 10 megabits per second down, and like 100 megabits per second up, which is like a streamer or somebody uploading. That's really what you want, you know? 10 megabits per second is more than enough to watch, you know, like high quality streaming video across multiple platforms simultaneously, which is well beyond what you could want. The only thing you'd want maybe, you know, a little bit more to download AAA games on Steam without having to budget like an hour for it, whatever. But 100 up is like, you know, Kate and I could both stream at least 5 times our existing bitrate. Not that Twitch could handle it. That's not Twitch's fault, by the way. It's, you know, nobody wants to watch a stream that has like a 30 megabit per second bitrate anyway. I don't even know how they would encode. Anyway, that's beside the point. Then I plugged in the tech guy's laptop and did a wired speed test, and it was 1.2 gigabits per second. And I'll give you some comparison, okay? I have talked breathlessly about, and this is bragging, I'll just admit, but we've been working hard, so I'm gonna own it, okay? Yep. Let's just go for it here. It's another Excel floor, so we have one more item room. Sorry, I haven't been focusing on Isaac that much. Mostly because Bumbo's out. Ha ha ha. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a sec. Right now, I've talked about the internet at this place. It's been the most stable and also, like, probably the best internet service I've ever had in my entire life. I don't think in 5 years-ish of living here, I've ever missed a stream due to internet issues, which is unheard of, and I'm openly thankful for it every single day. But our internet speed, at least on Wi-Fi, was like, I don't know, it was like 30 down, 10 up. So to go from 30 down, 10 up, and that might have been on wired now that I think about it, to 10 down, 100 up. You know, obviously the one number is smaller, but the other and more relevant number is much bigger, so you gotta be stoked about that. But then, 1.2 gigabits per second, I mean, we're getting into, like, you know, ludicrous speed territory. Like, the upload is like you know, 100 times faster. Presently, it takes like 600 seconds to upload an Isaac episode. So I just do like batch uploading while I'm asleep. Now, it might take, I'm not gonna say 6 seconds, because then, you know, we're moving the clog in the garden hose like downstream. YouTube has to process it after that point. So you're probably not just gonna be able to go like, Isaac's done, boop, it's up. But, you know, it's not gonna change the way that stuff comes out on YouTube, because now the limiting factor is, you know, my own ability to produce content at that pace instead of any internet speed bottlenecks. But anyway, by the way, I'm recognizing like I sound tired. That's because I am freaking tired. I mean, I'm not tired like I got a great night's sleep last night. I can tell because my throat hurt a little bit when I woke up. Not in an illness way, but in like a, was I snoring sort of way? Anyway. Just like systemically tired. But in a good way, I'll admit. We should definitely try to go to our shop here and see if we get one more penny at least, and see what we can get. It also wouldn't be the worst thing to start getting some Death's List payouts here. Speed down, I'm excited. The holy binity? Is that two things is a binity? Anyway. Plus we got a new cable provider for TV. Yeah, I know I'm the only dude that's still running cable. Ha ha, okay boomer, ha 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 ha. But I've been watching My 600-Pound Life, and that show is incredible. Sorry, I didn't mean to say My 600-Pound Life. I meant to say 90 Day Fiancé. I've been wanting to watch My 600-Pound Life, but I have not seen it yet. 90 Day Fiancé is just an absolutely incredible television program. Why have none of my friends illuminated prior to this point how incredible that show is? Oh, because they respect you? Fair enough. All I'm gonna say, I'm openly... Look, there's some trash TV and there's some trash TV. My brain is broken temporarily. Here we go. There's some trash TV I like and some trash TV I don't. I don't think you can lump all trash TV together, in my opinion. The worst kind of trash TV, in my opinion, is HGTV. Now, obviously, everybody's going to be in a different boat here, right? But I derive essentially no amusement from watching HGTV, which is a personal thing. But, you know, beyond that, the manufactured drama of, like, you know, love it or list it. Are they going to love it or are they going to list it? They're going to love it, brother. They love it like 100% of the time. And then, like, on House Hunters, they've already bought a house before they go on the show. That's fake, and I hate it. 90 Day Fiancé, though, is really like every episode is a Louis Theroux documentary that opens my eyes to, you know, a part of North American existence that I've never been privy to. And I recognize, you know, this is a little punching down, but I'm trying to gain some respect or garner some respect for the TLC Corporation, okay? Because they've gone through some hard times with respect to my demographic. People my age don't like TLC anymore because it used to be like, hey, here's how things got made. And now it's like, look at these weirdos. But I still think, like, every episode of 90 Day Fiancé, do you know who Christopher Guest is? He's a mockumentarian. He made, you know, directed This Is Spinal Tap and, you know, the Best in Show, the Westminster Dog Show mockumentary, and etc. He's a very famous filmmaker. Waiting for Guffman, etc., etc. Sorry, you always have to throw in... Why just walk into it, dude? Because I'm going off on a rant. If you like Louis Theroux documentaries, I'm confident in saying you will like / love 90 Day Fiancé. There's just so much baffling stuff, and I was talking about it on Team Unity Minecraft. But I was like, 90 Day Fiancé is like an instructional manual on how not to treat your partner in a relationship if you want them to... I mean, A, stay with you, but B, like, have respect for you in any way, shape, or form. The episode I watched last night, and by episode I mean one of the 3 episodes I watched last night, was throwing me for a loop, dude. So there's this lady, she's American. The whole premise of 90 Day Fiancé is that, you know, American citizens have found a partner from a different country, and that partner is, you know, they're engaged to be married, I believe is the premise, and they get what's known as a K-1 visa, which is apparently like the American visa for fiancés of American citizens. Anyway, so the American in this situation, she is engaged, or at least, you know, in a relationship with a man from Turkey. And there's a recurring theme in the show is that, you know, they have communication issues because I'll just be honest, I don't know what language they speak in Turkey. I'm assuming it's Turkish, but I could be completely wrong about that. And, you know, her Turkish is non-existent, and his English is not that good. I'm not trying to insult him. You might notice I said her knowledge of his language is non-existent. See, I'm trying to keep the balance of power here in a situation where, it, you know, I believe it should be. But anyway, the thing is, they're at dinner, they're eating nachos in America, and then the, I'm just gonna call her the wife, I guess, because I don't know, in Fiancé, I don't want to say the woman, that sounds weird, you know, the wife, who is American, brought her mother, and her mom she clearly has some outdated ideas about the world outside of America. She typed into her translation app, "Please don't throw stones at my daughter," because she thought that they still stone people to death in Turkey. And moreover, that, you know, even though he's not in Turkey right now, that he would do it in America, even if that was real, which I'm, like, very confident it is not. Thank you for this. Anyway. He, as you might have expected, he got a little offended. And, but then, just so you're like, wow, poor guy. Yeah, but then, like, after that, they were talking, and the bride was like, yeah, the guy's family doesn't know that I have, you know, children from a previous relationship. And then they started to have a heart-to-heart, and she was like, why haven't you told your family I have other kids? And he's like, they'll make things complicated. And then she said, if you tell your family I have kids from another relationship and they give you an ultimatum, will you choose them over me? And he said, maybe. Why would you... Brother, I'm here. He's like at least 10 years older than me. Maybe is possibly the worst answer there. I'm not asking him to lie. It's more just like, first off, your genuine heart of hearts answer should be no to begin with. But then, like, on top of that, to be like maybe is just a strange answer. It's like you haven't even thought it through yet. You're about to, like, move. Please, thank you. You're about to move continents to be with the woman you love, apparently, and you're gonna hit her with well, I know that, you know, it doesn't bother me, but if it bothers my family, then yeah, I don't know, I might just have to abandon this. You know, that's just it's unfathomable to me. That's why I say it's just I really. It's a show that gives you a slice of life from a part of life that I've never, you know, been a part of. Kate was like, we should have been on 90 Day Fiancé, and then I had to remind her that we're both Canadian. Ah, crap, I skipped the item room. But that show is an incredible instruction manual on what not to do in a relationship. I mean, there's a lot of other things, like, there's a lot, and, you know, it's an issue that some people get a little prickly about, but there is a lot of, like, hey, I'm a wealthy, like, 40, 50, 60-year-old man, and I fell in love with this beautiful 21-year-old Brazilian, and we have a lot in common. And, you know, that's, you know, obviously, look. I feel, can we just dispense with the idea, like, sometimes when you bring up stuff like this, people are like, maybe they're actually in love, you know, they're at an age where they can make their own decisions, obviously. Yeah, but, like, I know that's true sometimes. And I'm not trying to infringe on somebody else's, you know, liberty to choose who they want to be with, for whatever reason, to be honest. But, like, there's a lot where you really get the vibe that this lady is like, hey, this is a chance for me to escape the economic hardships of wherever I live right now and have a better life, but I'm not really that into the dude. And then there's some, and by the way, I don't want to make it sound like the lady is necessarily the only person engaging in some kind of deception there. The dude is engaging in some self-deception. When he's like, you know, this is a serious, like, we're gonna start a family together. And I'm like, and I feel bad even saying it, but, like, you know, they have these clips where they, like, go out to dinner with, you know, like, the friend of the, like the dude will go out to dinner with, like, one of his guy friends, and his guy friend is just like, you really think, look at you, look at her, look at the situation, look at the platform on which you met on. You think you're like, you and her are gonna have children and start a family together, and just, you haven't even had a conversation that didn't take place through the Google Translate app. Anyway. Suffice to say, I'm being very judgmental, but the show is very interesting. And not just on the level of, like, ha ha ha, look at these dummies. It's on the level of, like, you know, I admittedly had no perspective on this subject, and you see that, you know, some people were just in bad situations, and, you know, whether I think that the relationship is a little cursed to begin with or not, you know, they're really giving it their all. And it might sound like I'm struggling to find a little bit of silver lining here, and, you know, look, they're getting paid scale, okay? I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I just have to, I feel the need to defend myself sometimes, because I am, you know, I am not a scholar, but I'm a somewhat learned individual. You may have heard me reference Candide earlier in the program today. When I reference Candide, for example, Chad hits me with question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't get it. When I reference 90 Day Fiancé, people say, why does NL only watch lowbrow entertainment? That's not true. Just because I don't watch freaking the Dragon Prince or Boku no Hero Academia, all of a sudden my tastes are on trial whenever I say I watch a show on TLC. I've read books. Anyway, Bumbo's out. Dude, Bumbo is a complicated release right now. I have complicated opinions on Bumbo, and you should know if you watch my content that me saying complicated is not just a shorthand. You know, some people would be like, it's interesting, and that would be like a polite way of saying they don't like something. That's not me. I actually have complicated feelings on Bumbo. Right now. I played it at a couple of, I don't know, I've got like maybe 7 runs in the tank right now, and I played one on stream as well. I played Bumbo at a couple of media events, and honestly, my impression from the demo was I was like, I'm pretty sure this is not gonna be my sort of jam. But there's an interesting thing about being at those events. Sometimes games just, you know, whether by the construction of the demo or just the style of the game, sometimes games that are good don't demo well. Sometimes games that are not that good demo fantastically. And I think Bumbo kind of demoed not so strongly, in my opinion. And I, you know, I wasn't like, oh, this is trash, but I was like cautiously, people always say cautiously optimistic, but I was almost like cautiously a little pessimistic, you know? I was like, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure this is going to find an audience, but the match 3 elements are very much outside of my wheelhouse, and I'm not totally sure if it's going to resonate with me. But after playing it in the privacy of my own home, I realized I actually like it a lot, and it feels very much... My personal opinion of the gameplay loop is that if you've ever played 4 Souls, it feels more similar to that, but in like a single-player, almost solitaire-style format, than it does to something like, you know, Bejeweled. And I really appreciate that it's almost... I mean, they called it a deck builder, but the deck building elements are insanely light. You know, you don't have a lot of choices when it comes to deck building on a given run. You might get like 6 or 7 choices, really, over the course of a run so far. In my perhaps ignorant opinion, having not actually, you know, unlocked everything there is to see. So I really appreciate that it actually does, it feels more like a strategy game, I would say, than just a puzzle game. And when you really get in the flow, it feels good. Now, I want to add, because I'm not a traitor to the consumer, that I have encountered a lot of bugs, the same sort of stuff that other people have experienced. Some of the bugs are really bad. Soft locks are basically like a non-starter, because, I mean, we have 1 rate of fire right now, thanks to Purity. Might as well own that. Because there's no save and continue option, so if a run gets soft locked, you're just stuck. That, you know, other people will use harsher words than this for sure, but I'm like, is it unacceptable? You know, people would be more okay with the situation if it had an early access tag, let's put it that way. And it might seem like it's a nomenclatural difference, like, you know, a bug by any other name would still soft the game, William Shakespeare. But, you know, there are people who are just, like, ideologically opposed to picking up early access games, and also, you know, an early access game sets the tone. Like, if you see a game's in early access and you encounter a bug, you're like, well, I can't be mad, they put the early access tag there. So, yeah, I don't know if they... I mean, they've been working on bug fixes and stuff like that, but it did launch, for sure, in kind of an addled state, which is disappointing. But the actual core gameplay loop I've been liking a lot. And, you know, like a lot more than I thought I would like it as well. I think it's... Once they iron out the bugs and... you know, particularly the ones that prevent people from being able to complete a run or play the game at all. I think it'll rise for most people from mixed to at least, like, modestly positive. I think, like, you know, I'm glad people are enjoying watching it, and genuinely, I'm enjoying playing it. Like, I'm knocking out Isaac runs this morning so I can play Bumbo runs later today and see more of what the game has to offer because I'm having such a good time. But, is it the best roguelite strategy / puzzler this year? You're gonna have to ask me, you know, on December 31st. Spire will almost certainly be #1. I don't think there's any possible... It might be, you know, it's like my #3 game of the decade or something like that. So you gotta really be swinging for the fences to beat that. My hunch right off the bat is, even though I had a lot of problems with Dicey, I still think Dicey is a little bit more of a complete and satisfying experience, but I might feel differently after a bit. But I still like it a lot, actually. And again, my perception of what it was going to be like before it came out versus the reality of what it was has made me very pleased. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. I promise I won't skip the item room next time. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.